What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming at y'all with the first 2 minute drill of the week, man. April 19th. It's Monday. I know y'all see that new logo in the top right corner. We're going to get to that at the end of the show. But I want to start off as we start the episode off. This is where it started. I told y'all the announcement was coming. Y'all did it, man. Y'all hit 100 subscribers, which means me and Brandon this week are picking 5 lucky subscribers of that first 100 to get a merch bundle from us. We're going to announce who the 5 people are on our NFL live stream when we live stream the entire first round. So make sure to check that out. It'll be at the end. It'll be at the beginning of the draft, right before the draft starts. That way, so y'all tune in and find out if you won the merch bundle. Y'all already have gotten us like almost to 120, man. So make sure to keep going. I told y'all we're going to do another giveaway at 200. And as we inch closer to our main goal, 1,000 subscribers, man, we got an insane give out. I know not even the big dogs on the sports media world are giving out what we're going to give out if we hit 1,000. So make sure to keep subscribing, keep supporting the Bluebloods, man. But let's go ahead and get into it. We usually, have our Jackson State content on Monday, but they did not play this weekend. This was their week of their game against Alcorn State, which of course was canceled because Alcorn is not playing. But we had another big one. Alabama A&M, Alabama State, the Magic City Classic, Brandon. It doesn't get bigger than this. And it was a hyped up battle in Legion Field for this game. Alabama A&M, of course, though, runs away with this one, 38-14. They clinched their first SWAC East Division crown since 2011. They're on a path to face Arkansas Pine Bluff in the SWAC championship game. I believe it's May 1st. And Connell Maynor, man, we didn't have him on the podcast. He was a topic on the podcast last week after his comments to Dion, but he's 3-0 over the in-state rival. And he said after the game he was pleased with how his team responded after a very sloppy first half. Alabama State head coach Donald Hill Eli said after the game that it was a rough day after their starting quarterback went down and 3 offensive linemen, that a lot of guys were playing out of position. It just kind of got out of hand in the second half, Brandon. But what were your biggest takeaways of this game, Brandon? What really stood out for you, and how was Alabama A&M to pull off such a dominant win this weekend?
The only thing I can think of is Aqeel Glass, dude, because, he led this team. And, seriously, it's like the Aqeel Glass show whenever they're on offense, because he leads the team in passing. Obviously, he's the quarterback. Led the team in rushing with only, 45 yards. Is that right?
Yeah, 45 yards rush. He averaged, I think it was 5 attempts for 45, so he averaged about 9 yards a carry, which is pretty outstanding.
That's great. Not so great for their running game, I guess, but you don't really need much of a running game whenever your quarterback's passing with 350 yards a game. So, this dude is just going off, apparently. I'm glad I tuned into the Jackson State game last week when they played Alabama A&M, or I might not have noticed this kid. He is really doing his thing, and I think this Alabama A&M team is going to go just as far as he takes them.
I agree, and that was my obvious star of the game. Aqeel Glass does it again, guys. 62% completion percentage, over 370 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, and like Brandon said, it was a career high day, 45 yards rushing, led the team. This put him over 1,000 yards passing, Brandon, 13 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions in 3 games. And all 3 interceptions came week 1. So this kid is balling these past 2 games. And Brandon, looking at this game, I honestly don't think anyone in the SWAC right now can stop Aqeel Glass when he is at his best. It was shown last week against Jackson State. The second half against Alabama State this week was absolutely amazing. For me, Brandon, when watching this kid play, he was real sloppy in the first half, I would say. But it just seems like once that switch flips, once he gets into that zone, this kid plays so confidently and just turns it up to another level that there's not a defense in the SWAC that can do anything about it. And I don't want to get too, there's one thing that I was kind of noticing about Glass, though, Brandon, that gives me a little bit of pause in terms of his NFL draft potential, and that's accuracy. he's not going to be able to rely purely on his athleticism and arm at the next level. I need to see him get that accuracy up. Only 59% completion percentage right now. Brandon, I really want to see that jump to 65, 70 going into next season as we finish this season off. That's the only issue I have with what Aqeel Glass is doing. But I do want to move on to Connell Maynard too. Watching this game, Brandon, one thing that I noticed just from the sideline is how infectious his energy is, how infectious his passion and energy is. I mean, there were times like when even Aqeel Glass messed up, he was in that dude's ear saying, like, you can do better. And after the game, he even said Glass wasn't playing like himself. He wasn't living up to the standard of what this team standard is. So I think you can tell he set a really high standard. You could tell when that standard isn't met, the players, even their star player, hears about it and they have to get it corrected immediately. I want to say this. I think he's building a contender down in Alabama. And Brennan, I really, really don't think this is the last SWAC championship we're going to see Alabama A&M go to under Maynard.
I don't think so either, man. This dude has something about him. I mean, he really has that it factor. He's on fire for his team, apparently. And I don't think it's only, the coach. Obviously, I'm super high on Aqeel Glass. He's coming back next season. So yeah, but I mean, definitely with this coach at the helms. Last week I talked like a big game about how he shouldn't be like talking to Deion like that. Deion might have came after him, but it's Deion Sanders, it's prime. Maybe he should. I don't know. It kind of seems. It sort of seems like he's a good coach, and I feel like we knew that. Obviously, your team doesn't get to the point in the season where they're at right now. I mean, they just clinched the East without having a good coach, So, yeah, I mean, this guy, I agree with you. I think that he will lead Alabama A&M to several more division titles, if not conference titles.
Yeah, I mean, I think his confidence, if you had any question, all you had to look is what he said to Deion.
Yeah.
And I think they go into every game expecting to win. So I think that's really a difference between the elite coaches at this level is there's some coaches that go in knowing they have a chance to win, Brandon. They tell their team, and we have a shot in this game. But the difference with the elite coaches is you go into the game expecting to win, and it's a mindset. And I think Maynard is really establishing that at Alabama A&M right now. He was really, really successful at Winston-Salem. I believe he had, 4 back-to-back FCS playoff appearances. So I think he's building that type of contender, man. And listen, next season, they have a lot of guys returning, including Aqeel Glass. I think they're going to be a problem. If they win the SWAC this year, I think they're going to be they should be the odds-on favorite to win it in the year coming up as well. But I really am interested to see, I'm not going to lie, I have not watched a lot of Arkansas Pine Bluff this year and what they offer, but they do get to the SWAC championship there. But Brandon, I mean, do you think Alabama A&M should be the odds-on favorite moving forward in the SWAC?
I do. I mean, that's coming from my very limited knowledge, obviously. Full disclosure, I don't watch every single SWAC in, week out. I've watched Alabama A&M and Jackson State mostly, and whoever they play. But just after watching, I mean, just like I said, the fire that this coach has, the pure talent that Aqeel Glass has, and the rest of the, honestly, I just give it to you. The rest of the team on it as well. This defense held Alabama State to nearly nothing at all. In terms of stats, like yes, they scored, but like look at the passing. I mean, look at the passing game. Look at the running yards. I mean, there's nothing there really. So yeah, this entire team, I think Alabama A&M is pretty much set. Like you said, I haven't watched a ton of Arkansas Pine Bluff, but to me, it seems like Alabama A&M might be the best team in the SWAC.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm interested to see. I'm gonna do some research on this game, this matchup in the SWAC championship. We'll probably do a big preview just because we've been covering so much SWAC football. So y'all make sure to tune in for that. But let's move on. I'm going to stick in the HBCU ranks, man. We talked about Tennessee State hiring Eddie George last week, and we both said you're going to have some NFL talent. You're going to have some college talent on that coaching staff. Well, Brandon, I think he hit the NFL staff right on the head. We get Hue Jackson coming in as the offensive coordinator, and we have Jeff Fisher coming in as a advisor, maybe kind of like a director of player personnel type role. So for you, what do you think Fisher and Jackson are going to bring to Tennessee State, and how do you think they play a role in making George successful at Tennessee State?
It's really cool, man, because I mean, obviously Eddie George was a star on the field. You know, we don't know too much about his prior coaching experience. I don't know if he's even coached at all. He's got that coaching gig. He's bringing on two guys who have coached at the highest level possible. You know, Jeff Fisher has been around the league and back. I mean, he's coached everywhere. He brought the Titans to a Super Bowl. They didn't win, but he took them to the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's going to play like a big in recruiting. You know, you're not only going to play for Eddie George, just legendary running back with the Titans organization. You're also going to go play with a team that employs Jeff Fisher, who I think his name still holds pretty high regards. And then Hue Jackson, this guy who just recently left the league. Having two guys on your staff definitely helps, not only with recruiting, but also just keeping that composure. Maybe, you know, these guys have been there before. You know, sometimes we see like Deion's a little bit unorthodox because he hasn't coached it quite well. Maybe these guys can help Eddie George out handling the pressure. Maybe not, you know, what comes to my mind is the press conference that we showed on the 2-minute drill last week, where Deion's, you know, laughing about the quarterback race. Hopefully these two guys on the staff will be able to advise Eddie George as to, you know, this is how show them how to kind of approach things from a media standpoint. These guys have been in the media a lot more recently. Recruiting and I mean just pure coaching. I mean, these guys are the real deal. You don't coach in the NFL if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, you look at so I think with Hue, I want to start with Hue. I think it just is the large amount of experience, man. I mean, you look at how long. I mean, he was at the college level, Brandon. I mean, he was at Cal State Fullerton. He was at Arizona State. He was at Cal, USC. Then he goes to the Washington football team. Then he goes to the Bengals, Falcons, Ravens, Raiders, back to the Bengals. Then it was a head coach. Well, now he's the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State. I mean, there's so many years of experience. There's so many players he can rely on. There's so many, you know, he understands personnel. And listen, say what you want about Hue Jackson and the head coaching thing that went on with the Browns, and we saw the whole scandal recently where he released a book and said the Browns, you know, wanted to take, I think it was Trubisky over Myles Garrett, which is a terrible decision. We can all agree. But I think this is kind of also like a redemption story too for Hue Jackson. After, you know, he feels like he was blackballed from the NFL, after he feels he was screwed out of the Browns job and everything, this is kind of his chance to get on, like, I guess, to get his career back together. And I'm really excited to see how it happens. The only thing with him is, man, he hasn't been in college since like the early 90s, late 80s, I believe. Man, the recruiting landscape has changed so much since then. How is Hue Jackson going to recruit? They need to make sure that their quarterbacks coach, their running backs coach, know the recruiting landscape, have ties in Tennessee, have ties down south. If I'm Tennessee State, I want to make a living out of the Atlanta area. It's not too far. I mean, it's not terribly far away. You have to be able to get some of those kids out of the Atlanta area. You have to be able to stretch into the Florida territories and get a lot of that talent. And I want to see where their recruiting base is going to be. It's all great to have NFL experience, but if you can't recruit the players, it doesn't matter. And with Jeff Fisher, man, looking at him, I want to see exactly what his advisor role is, Brandon. Is he going to be a player personnel type guy? Is he going to be just a behind this? Like, what is he going to bring in that advisor role? That's what I want to see. I know right now it's early, so I don't expect those details to be available anytime soon. But, Brandon, we talked about the perception that Eddie George is going to have in the Tennessee area. If you had to put a number 2 and like, okay, this guy's has the respect of everyone at Tennessee. It's got to be Jeff Fisher, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy. I mean, it's funny because Eddie George was the running back at the time too. That they were like a half yard away from winning a Super Bowl over the greatest show on turf. So they have the respect. They can get into any door they want. So if I'm sitting back with Eddie George, I'm like, okay, I have the experience checked off. We got Jeff Fisher, we got Hue Jackson. I got the NFL experience checked off. Now I want to see what they do college-wise. So for the defensive coordinator role, I'm really interested to see where they go here, Brandon. Do they go in the college ranks and get a really, really, highly valued defensive coordinator? Or do they go to the NFL ranks and get someone who, recently lost their job, someone like a Todd Bowles out of for like the Jets or something like that recently, just lost their job, who's a highly respected, like a Greg Williams, someone like that. So I'm really interested to see where they go with this position. But guys, we're going to update you on all things Tennessee State staff. The hiring's not done, but Hue Jackson, Jeff Fisher, first two hires for Eddie George out of Tennessee State. And so now it's time for announcements and the plugging, of course, guys. Well, in that top right, man, you see Undrafted Sports. As y'all know, we've been a part of the Worst Take Network for a little while now. It is rebranded. We have merged with, Sports Fluent. So now it is Undrafted Sports. The Bluebloods are officially part of Undrafted Sports, man. There's so many great podcasts, writers, everything you got to go check out. The website is live. Everything. So make sure to go check it out. UndraftedSports.com, and you can check out all these great podcasts. There's great NFL content if you want that. Great baseball content. There's so much more outside of the college. We're the college football guys for the network, but make sure to go check out all those other sportsmans. We're going to plug podcasts of the week, everything. So make sure to stay up to date with all things Undrafted Sports. But for us, man, like I said at the beginning, me and Brandon could not be happier with how much support, man, we're getting. Y'all are just supporting us more than we ever thought. We never even thought 10 people would listen to us. Now we're up over 100 subscribers. We just hit 10,000 views on YouTube, man. So shout out to y'all. We appreciate all y'all's support, man. And none of this would be possible, but we're going to pick the 5 giveaway winners this week, announce them at our live stream of the first round of the NFL draft, guys. So make sure to tune into that. But we will be back tomorrow with another 2-minute drill. Make sure to go check out our most recent Big 12 and 30-day interview. We got the Kansas Jayhawks up. There's been a lot of turmoil, but things are looking on the up according to this interview. So make sure to go check out all things Jayhawks football there. We got some more NFL draft corners coming this week too. I told y'all, man, it might be the all season, but it's not the all season for us. We're bringing y'all so much content for this all season. So make sure to tune in, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, guys. But for myself, B-Dub, the 2-minute drill, the Bluebloods, and now Undrafted Sports, guys, we are out.